About 8 months ago I made a video about what I think is the best focal length, and that's a 50mm in full frame terms. Today though I'm making a video about what I think is the second best focal length, which is a 35mm in full frame terms. The 35mm or 23 in the Fuji world is, in my opinion, the perfect documentary day out focal length. Now, not many people use it for street photography, but I personally find it's the best for just documenting a day out. And that's exactly what I'll be using this lens. Well, that's quite cool. So the specific lens I'm using today is the Fuji 23 f2. It's definitely not the sharpest lens in the world. However, given the fact that it's midsummer, midday in Spain, I don't think light will be an issue. I'll be shooting mostly at f5.6, f8, maybe f4, depending on the light. And that's really about it. I love this compact little setup on the X-T5. So good for just documenting a day out. Man, I love old cool cars like this. Right, so church as well. Who would have thought? That's quite cool. Don't see those every day. Exposure plus 0.3, I think should be enough. F2, f5.6. Wow, the beach is a bit busy today. Look at all those colours, if you can see, of the umbrellas. In terms of global exposure, I am using plus 0.3 at the moment, because I feel that on a bright day like this, especially if there is some cloud, overexposing a tiny bit does help lift the whole image up, especially the shadows. That's quite cool. I don't know if you could see, because it's quite a wide angle lens. There's a guy on a paddleboard. Oh, I've got jet skis as well. I was hoping to get the guy on the paddleboard in the zone, but I don't know if the jet skis will get in the way first. Let's try and get him centered. I found myself being drawn to really simple, obvious things like this, like a nice window with some texture and stuff. And I'm yet to really figure out why I'm being drawn to these simple scenes. Once I figure that out, I will let you know. Man, this is so cool. Absolutely love places like this. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe it's the little tiny beach with all the colourful umbrellas. Maybe it's the mountains and all the clouds that are covering them. All the trees, the palm trees and all that. Maybe the architecture, I don't know. There's just something about this part of the world that I just absolutely love. Another use case for a 35 for me is as a snapshot camera. So as a snapshot focal length, sorry. So if I'm out and about and I don't really want to focus on photography too much, I want to focus on just being present and enjoying my time with friends, family, etc. The 35 is perfect for that because it's just wide enough to get everything that you need to see in, but it's tight enough to keep things concise. Another thing that makes the 35 so versatile is if you're using a higher megapixel camera, let's say 26 and above, you can quite easily crop into 40mm, even 50mm at a push. And in most cases, that's going to be enough to bring more focus on whatever subject it is that you have. And if I had to pick one focal length to just travel with, not lens, but focal length, it'll be the 35. At this point, I want to thank Bellroy for sponsoring this video. However, instead of a generic ad read, let me walk you through my favorite product that they make, which is the 10-liter camera venture sling. So let's start with the exterior. There is a really nice weather resistant material right here. You've got a couple of lashing points at the bottom just in case you want to attach something. There's also a bit of padding, quite a lot of padding actually, on the bottom and on the sides. So if you drop this down, then the gear inside will be pretty safe. The zip is weather resistant and it opens from both sides, from there and from there. So it depends on what you have. Where you have it, you can access it. If I open this up, inside, hopefully you can see, there are two dividers. Now they don't come out, but they do move from side to side like this. So you can effectively push both of them to their extreme sides and have the whole compartment to yourself, or you can have just one of them out, etc. There are some pockets here, so I'll normally put a charger or this DJI Osmo there. There's both sides. You've got a little pocket right there so you can put your batteries, memory cards, that kind of stuff. And then there's even a little thing for your Apple AirTag at the bottom. So this kit is I'm out making videos and taking photos for the whole day. I need to make a YouTube video whilst also taking photos, and I want to cover all bases. So the bag is pretty full, but there's still quite a fair bit of space. And let me show you. So in here there's a 50mm f2 prime. There is my DJI mic and my photo camera, which is the X-T5 with a 23mm prime. So between excuse me, these two lenses, everything is covered. Here is my video camera with a zoom lens, which is the XH2S. Currently it's the 18-50 zoom, which is plenty for video. And then last but not least is a charger, and then a bunch of accessories like batteries, all that kind of stuff. Next is my digital nomad, going out for the day, taking photos, working out of coffee shops, that kind of stuff. So inside, obviously there's a camera, which is the X-T5 with a 23. There is also a mic, just in case, the 50mm, and then in here there will be a Samsung hard drive, some headphones, and a dongle for the iPad, which sits, right there. It fits in really nicely. And then if I take it out, there's an 11-inch iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard. And last but not least, inside here is an Apple Pencil and a USB-C Thunderbolt cable for the camera and for the mic, for the hard drive, etc. And right in the corner there, somewhere, oh there we go, is a battery to keep it all running. All right, well, I hope you found this useful. If this Bellroy is of any interest to you, I've left a link down below where you can get 10% off, not just this bag, but anything else from Bellroy as well. So thank you so much for watching this ad, and let's get back to the video. Good morning from Seville. Nice abstract. That's quite nice. Got a little sliver of light here. Background's nicely lit. Is there anything of interest walking past? Not long ago I had a question about why have I seemingly stepped away from street photography and now doing more postcard, travel style, pretty pictures, so to speak. And there's a few reasons for it. So first of all, it was an active decision to move away from more traditional street photography and more towards pretty postcard travel pictures. And the reason for it is, well, first of all, I found myself being drawn more to scenes than to subjects. I still like to have people in my shots because it anchors the image, it gives it a focal point, right? But I'm just more drawn to pleasant scenes instead of subjects. Another reason is more commercial, because you see it's very hard to make money from street photography because of rights, model releases, loads of things as you're aware. And because for me this is a business, I want to be able to sell my images. And not long ago I had someone reach out who wanted to license a bunch of photos from Japan. But because quite a few of them, especially the ones that the client wanted, had recognizable faces, they couldn't use them, or I had to do a lot of Photoshop work to remove those faces. And going forwards, I would like to find a way of licensing my work more, especially with the travel side of stuff. Another reason is, well, I'm simply traveling a lot more at the moment, and the types of things I'm photographing is more pretty travel places. And my photography is simply a reflection of where I am within my creative photographic journey, right? So I'm pretty sure at some point, if I move back to a city, let's say London or something like that, then my style will change. And I might do a blog or a video on this in the future, but style does change depending on where you are sometimes, I think, but that's a separate topic. And I think, generally speaking, I found myself losing interest in showing faces. I don't know why. Most of my work doesn't show faces, but I've just found myself being more conscious and aware of not wanting to do that, and I still sometimes do today, but it's only in very rare occasions. So I hope that kind of summarizes why I have seemingly stepped away from street photography and gone more towards like pretty pictures, if you like. One thing I would say about photographing in hot environments like this, I don't know about you, you might be different, you might be more used to it, or you might be able to deal with it better than me, but I find that after a few hours, especially in the intense heat, I just switch off. As you could probably tell, I can't really say much of interest right now. My brain seems to be working at like 2 miles an hour. But certainly most of my favourite pictures from any of these days shooting here in southern Spain are taken usually in the morning, or only if I go out for the afternoon. If I've been out all day like today, I mean now it's about 5:30 and we've been out since about 7. I don't know, my brain's cooked. So it's something to keep in mind if you're planning on shooting. If this was like entirely for photography, I would probably come in the winter because I think it'll be a bit more bearable. Obviously you can't go to the beach. I mean, you can. You can't swim. You can as well. Depends if you like cold water. But anyway, point being is, shooting in direct heat like this, about 30 degrees, 33 degrees now, it does take its toll after a while.